Hi, I'm Caitlin, and this is Book Chats. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Today is my May and June successes, struggles, and soon-to-bes. I'm just going to start with my successes. By now you've probably heard that I have been asked to speak on a panel at BookNetFest this fall. I'm so excited about this, guys. I have a whole video just talking about the fact that I was chosen. I have been trying to apply more to things that I feel underqualified for lately because I'm afraid of failure, which I mentioned in my last video, and it's just a way to say, like, hey, it's kind of a way to practice failure because, like, you're setting yourself up to not get it, but also you never know if they're going to say yes, and if it's something you really want to do, then you might as well try. I traveled a bunch in May and June, and in May I went to a family wedding, and then immediately afterwards went to Ireland with more of my family. And it was a really great experience. I love seeing my family. I have a really great extended family, but they live all over the US, so it's always nice when we can come together and see each other, especially in such happy circumstances as a wedding. It was so nice to see everyone and to eat some delicious fish and to see my cousin finally married. I also really enjoyed traveling overseas with the other side of my family. I had a great time. It was really full of love, which is what I love so much about my extended family, is that there is so much love there. I did a little bit of traveling closer to home. I drove up to Austin to meet a friend of mine from Twitter, and that was really great. We talked about being women in tech, and we also talked about books, of course, because we met over books on Twitter. And we're gonna actually go to BookNetFest together in the fall, so that is gonna be really fun. And then the other travel I did was to VidCon. Here's my badge. I was on the creator track, which was really enjoyable, and I had a great time. I agonized for months about whether or not to actually go to VidCon, but I eventually decided that I would go, and I had a great time. And then after VidCon, I took the train to Burbank and hung out with my friend Lauren, who's lived in Burbank for 5 years now, I think, and it was great because Lauren is an animator. She works for Nickelodeon, and I rarely see her. I am lucky. The only time I see her is if we both go home to Minnesota to visit at the same time. It's just really rare, and so it was just really nice to see her in her own stomping grounds, and she kind of took me around and showed me some stuff. But it was a really great time, and it was so nice to end that weekend by getting to hang out with my friend. And then I took the red eye back home, and it actually ended up being like almost a better experience than if I had taken like a morning flight. The big summary I want to get across to you guys is I had a great May and June, and when I was writing this particularly, I was just feeling so energized and great about everything that I just was like, everything was a success. Nothing was a struggle. But of course, with everything, there's always a couple struggles. I think the most obvious should obviously be this channel. I really neglected it in May and June, and I'm very sorry about that. In May, I was honestly traveling a ton. It was really hard, and so it's like a little more understandable. But in June, I just was not prioritizing it the way I should have. One of the other things that was a struggle was kind of just with all of that travel. I was gone a lot from work, and I'm kind of worried about how that kind of reflects on me professionally. Some of the travel was for work, but it wasn't necessarily a sanctioned sort of trip. I went to a conference, and with the time that I decided to go to the conference, it was approved. But since then, there's been sort of some transition at work, and in such a way that there was some new leadership brought on that didn't really like the idea of me going to this conference, and I decided to go anyway. And I don't know, at the time I thought like it had already been planned. It was really more stressful to like cancel it than to just go. But then while I was there, the conference ended up not being super productive for me and my particular position and role at the company. And also something went wrong with one of the projects that I'm on at work, and we had to shut it down, and I wasn't able to get it back until just last week. So it took 2 months to get it back online. And part of the reason it took 2 months to get back online is that I was gone for a week and a half in May, and then I was gone again for 3 days in June for VidCon. And so that's kind of stressful to feel this pressure at work and to feel like I'm kind of being frowned upon for traveling. And so I don't really know how to deal with it. I just know that I'm really happy I went to VidCon. I'm really glad I didn't cancel that trip, and I'm really happy I went to my cousin's wedding and I went to Ireland with my cousins. So I can't really say that I regret the trips themselves. I just sort of regret that they were so clustered close together. One of my biggest struggles is that for more than 6 months I've been wanting to negotiate for a raise at work, and I've been too afraid to do that. It's weird because I'm not sure exactly what I'm afraid of, because I guess like what I'm afraid they're gonna say no, and then I'll be in the exact situation I'm in now where I'm making the same amount I make now. But I think actually what I am afraid of is that right now there's the opportunity still, and I'm afraid that if I negotiate and they say no, that I've like blown my opportunity, and if I'd done better I would have gotten it. So I just need to take it into my mind that like delaying isn't helping any, that now is the best time to ask, and I just need to go for it. So by the time this is posted, hopefully I will have asked, and you guys can ask me and I'll let you know in the comments how it went. And this is my accountability right here, guys. So hold me to this. By the time this video is posted, we'll have asked for a raise. I can do this. So I had to buy a new computer, which I have not yet learned how to film and edit on, which is one of the reasons I'm still using my old dying computer and one of the reasons I've been neglecting this channel in June. This is not really conducive to having a happy bank account. So I'm not as stressed about my budget as I was earlier this year, so I feel a lot more at peace about it. But I would like to have more money in my bank account. The last thing I'm going to mention is something that will segue into my soon-to-bes, and that is my power sheet. So this is like a really intense goal-setting kind of workbook that I started at the beginning of this year, and I have not done a great job this year kind of maintaining the goals that I set. But I bought a friend of mine a 6-month set of these, one of my best friends, Laura, and I'm making her do it with me for the last 6 months of the year so that I have someone to be accountable with, and so that I can hopefully do a better job of setting my goals. I can set more realistic goals. I can set goals that are more productive and more specific, and just hopefully be more successful. My other soon-to-bes, obviously BookNetFest, it's September 1st and 2nd. It is in Orlando, Florida. September 1st is a Harry Potter World Day. I'm actually going to skip that and do an alternate activity. I'll let you guys know what that ends up being. But I am going to be in Florida that day because I want to be with all the cool people. Saturday, the 2nd, is when all the panels will be and just all of the kind of meat of the festival, and so I'm really excited about it. Obviously, I mentioned that I'm gonna negotiate for a raise at work. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. And then I'm not traveling at all in July, which is awesome. I mean, I love traveling, obviously, but it's been really stressful to travel so much like in a row and to be out of town so much in a row and to miss so much work. Because usually, like last year I travel a lot, but mostly on weekends. So it's just like, ooh. So it's nice to be like, I'm going to be in San Antonio all of July, even though it's going to be so hot, guys. I'm also hoping to finally get to unwrapping all of these lovely wrapped books in my TBR unwrapping. I have like 5 left to wrap, and then I'll be totally done wrapping them, and then I can start unwrapping them. So see, like, look for that video in July, this first unwrapping of TBR books. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below what successes and struggles you had in May and June, and let me know anything you're looking forward to, like a soon-to-be that you have. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!